pasa to the pack? It is Pack here, and in this video we have even more information of NBA 2K21 on the next generation and how they're changing the gameplay and making it better. But this time I'm focusing on defense. There's 5 key things that they mentioned about defense and how they're making it better. And I'm excited to talk about that because defense has been such a problem in NBA 2K for so long because of the delay online. You cannot play defense online when there's delay, and it feels like you're on ice skates. It is just so difficult to play defense in this game. And now it's looking like that's hopefully going to be fixed. But before this video starts though, be an OG, join the pack and subscribe and help me get to 300,000 subscribers. So the first thing I want to talk about in the blog post that they released is the sliding and how it has been addressed. So now they have added something called foot planting. Sliding in basketball is no good, but it's something we've had to live with in the past because of limitations in technology. I'm happy to say that the next generation version of NBA 2K21 takes a huge leap in that department. Our engineers rewrote our foot planting tech from scratch, and it led to one of the most striking visual improvements when you compare next gen to previous generations. Players can now take procedural steps instead of sliding their feet when they need to make micro adjustments. I love seeing proper footwork as players are making hard cuts, accelerating, stopping, even just landing and making subtle movements in place. It just brings 2K Hoops one more step, did you see what I did there, closer to real life. So if you've ever played defense in Park, for example, if I'm trying to play with somebody and they quickly go into one direction, if I change my left stick to go into another direction, I'm already sliding and trying to adjust myself to finally get there, and then add an extra second onto that because of the delay online. It is infuriating to try to play defense with sliding, and now they're having foot planting technology into the game that apparently wasn't available back in the PS4, but in the PS5, it's allowing the player models to plant their feet to stop themselves, specifically so they can make cuts and things like that. That is awesome to hear because I need to be able to react better when I'm playing defense, and apparently that has been addressed. At number 2 on the list, here we go, and this one is about body blocks and that screens are fixed. If this is true, there is a god, because oh my god, screens have been the worst thing ever in 2K. How many times have you been just sucked into a screen for no reason? And in real life, if someone says a screen, that doesn't mean you're caught and you're screwed. You can get over and under and still play defense after that. So this is what they're saying. Off-ball contact, just like body ups, we wanted to translate those same principles off-ball. The motion team completely reworked the off-ball contact system, which now features everything from let-throughs to hard collisions. There's a great freedom of movement when you're working away from the ball, but also realistic contact when it's called for, all with no snatching or sliding. My favorite aspect of these collisions can be seen in the new screen interactions. Gone are the vacuum screens that have plagued basketball games in the past, where defenders would get pulled into a screen collision and run in a direction they weren't asking for. You can redirect screens appropriately, go over or under as you'd expect, and die on a screen if you have a weak defender trying to barrel through a big. It all looks great, but more importantly, feels great for both the offense and defense to get outcomes that make sense in much an important aspect of team basketball. And oh my gosh, do I agree 1,000,000%. This is so important in basketball, and it cannot be done incorrectly, and this is going to create a lot better gameplay. This is the one I'm easily the most excited about. At number 3 on the list, it is that it's apparently easier for defenders in the post or centers to play defense, and there's now block targeting. So one of the biggest challenges we face when balancing offense and defense is contact in the paint. As you can tell with Next Gen, we really stress the importance of respecting our user control and not warping defenders into place for the sake of the game balance, but it's vital to have reliable contact, especially for protecting the basket. In order to prevent bloated points in the paint for NBA 2K21 on the next generation, we develop a new in-air contact shot system that will internally call the Impact Engine. The goal was to completely remove snatching that we've been using in past games to resolve collisions on the fly as players hit each other in midair. The Impact Engine and next-gen console power gives us the flexibility to do just that. By creating reliable contact when players are in flight, we no longer have to take control of the players when they're on the ground and pull them into place just to force certain outcomes. This will be most noticeable for paint defenders, as they'll have the freedom to maneuver their players into position and make a play on the ball themselves rather than the game dictating what happens based on whatever animations happen to trigger. To further aid paint defense, the logic that goes into block targeting has improved, and we're using IK more heavily now to get the hand to track the ball. I mean, everything that I just described is a pretty good description of what I need to say. Basically, defenders in the post are going to be able to move a lot easier make contact with people who are driving the paint a lot more simpler and a lot more realistic, so they can play better defense. And apparently blocks are a lot easier from now on, which is cash. I love that. At number 4 on this list is that now that charges and blocking fouls are going to happen more often, on-ground contact also saw major upgrades, specifically with charge and block fouls. Beating the shooter to the spot and getting set will give more successful charge calls on the offense, while being late will give you more blocking fouls. We've also added crash layups for situations where the shooter barrels into the defense but a charge or block weren't warranted. These animations will help convey to the player that they're forcing in the issue and hopefully teach them to respect paint defenders next time they go inside. Finally, people are going to learn that you can't just be driving all the time and dunk on everybody, and it's going to create a lot more realistic situations. You can get charges and blocking fouls a lot more often, which is beautiful. And finally, at number 5 on the list is that there was a lot of defensive cues that were fixed, and I wanted to just go through them all real quick. So, all non-dribbling movement from on-ball defense to off-ball defense is run by our motion engine, which is in its 3rd year in development, okay? So now there's unique contextual motion assets for various basketball situations, so transition stops, leak outs, guard break, anchor, space perimeter, bringing awareness to the look of the players on the floor and give them more life. There's improved pathing, cuts, and stops to make defenders feel more grounded to fix a lot more sliding for previous generations. Overall improvement to motion stability and response. In other words, we smooth out the twitchiness and players can more accurately follow exactly what you're doing on the sticks. That low-key is saying that they basically removed the delay online, which if that's true, oh my god, that's the best change they've ever made, but that has not been 1000% confirmed. Updated player size detection logic and greater emphasis on player differentiation. Bigs move like bigs, guards move like guards. That includes a lot of new animation contact to support signature motion styles. And finally, left stick taps allow you to play quick steps, which are really helpful when you need to make subtle adjustments to your defensive position. So all these little things are going to help you play defense a lot better. And if there's no more delay online, if that's what they're trying to say, that is the greatest thing in the world ever. So that is what I have to talk about defensive wise. What is your favorite piece of news? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like this channel, give it a sub. And I'll see you guys next time. If you want all the latest news of NBA 2K and also NBA in general, you should follow me on my Twitter account at PackHoopsYT. Not only that, I do giveaways all the time when it comes to VC, games, and also even consoles. So check it out, follow me, and see you there.